Night. So tonight I was sort of arming and ahhing what to do tonight, but I thought we will carry on from last week and play with those wee beads as well as these beautiful flat jewel beads. I don't know if you remember, we had some beads called Duo. We had them for quite some time and we did a few patterns with it, but you had a left and a right. Now with the flat jewel, they both sides are flat, so there is no sort of right or wrong way to use them. You can use both sides. So I want to have a little play with that. I got a few little patterns in my head, but I would love to have your thoughts on the matter as well. So I'm just going to turn you down on the mat and then we're going to get started straight away. I just got these beads out and I was just looking at them, playing with them, you know, like a child gets a toy out. So I'll get beads out and play with them. Right, okay, so down we go. So these are the beads. Let me zoom in a little bit more. So these are the beads and they're flat on both sides. I think we could do, so I love the Amos beads from Parpuka because they like sort of a nice drops, but these ones, because they are just a tiny bit, got a little bit of curve in them, I think we can have like really nice patterns with them. Good evening, Misha. Good evening, Ruth. Nice to see you here. So we could do pendants, little circles where we have them all together. We could do, let me just add another couple more in. We could also do, I think that would look quite good, and then incorporate that into something. Or we could, let me just grab a needle so I can push and pull it. Good evening, Amelia, Lorraine, good evening. So we could do something like that. This, or actually this could be even bigger, of a circle, or we could put them together in a way that, for example, if we had it on a necklace and we had them sort of drooping down, butted against each other either this way, and then maybe add a crystal bead or something or a little drop in here, or have them go this way like in a row, and then we add something else again in there. I think that would look really good as well. I think to add it into a bracelet, you would have to go backwards and frontwards and add something in between, but that could be sort of a nice little pattern as well. So we got loads to play with this. Doing it this way, I think doing it for a pendant, I don't know if I would want it a little bit bigger and add something in the middle. And just add something on the outside. We could make a pattern as easy or as difficult as we want, and it's always the way that the more kindly you play with it, the more ideas you get. And we still have got these V beads as well, which we started playing last week. I'm not sure, maybe even these would work with it. I unfortunately haven't had no, the holes doesn't quite match up. So if I pop this up on a needle and then match that hole up with that and then lay it down, the holes doesn't quite match up, so I don't think they will work well together. Hold on, let me just bring it in. They will work well together as much, but we still got these beads to have a little go with it, and design something with it. We had a go with these ones with gem doers last week, but I think there is so many different chevron pattern we can do with this one. We were looking at with the ladies the other day, and we could, even with this one, we could do a pattern something like that. So do like a knotted, like a little knot. We just have to work out the pathway, how the threads are going to come together. Maybe you would need a bit bigger, just like that. I think that would look really good as well. So we got a few different, good evening Trish, good evening Lucy, good evening Robin. We got a few different bits of pieces we can play with it. So what would you like me to start with? Would you like me to start with this one, or would you like me to start with the V beads or the flat jewels? Do let me know in the chat which one do you want me to start with, to play with. I'm just going to grab some beads, seed beads from behind me. I think I'm going to just grab size 11 and size 15 as well. If we stick with those, if we stick with the silver, we could just use something like a darker one with that one. For size 15, I'm just gonna grab the hematite ones, but any color would go with silver really. So let's have a look. I'm just gonna grab some thread as well. I'm gonna grab some silver thread. The gold ones, please, Trish is saying. Oh, I like that. V-beads look really interesting in this pattern. Okay, so shall we work on the V-beads first? Okay, cool. I'll put this to the side. So we got holes here, then coming to here. So what we could do, how we could have this, we would need a turnaround bead. A turnaround bead because the end of the hole is there. And then there is nowhere to go. If I go through the hole from here, let's go through this hole from here, the hole will end up just on the side of the bead there. So we're gonna have to have something in between. We're gonna have to have, if I make it a couple bigger, or a little bit bigger, and we add a seed bead in between, what will that look like? Or will that defeat the sort of the knot effect? Because then if we had a seed bead in between and then tie them 2, 4, 6, 7, let's do 8 and tie them together that way, how would that look? But then we want, like, let me just get a few more. Go back to like a 4 design. So if that holds up with that, and that holds up with that, and then this will hold up with that, and then that should, yeah. So it needs at least one more in that case, I think, as well. And let me just pull this down. So it needs 5 at least. So hole, and then we are here. So if we had a size 15, then turn around. Or if we had, if we had a little, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I think I got an idea. Okay, let's try this one. So I'm just gonna grab some seed beads. What would go with that one? What would see up? Let's grab a brown one. Us do size 15s. We might need size 11s, but I'm gonna try size 15s first because I think this needs like a little bit smaller, more delicate pattern to it. I'm gonna thread my needle. I'm using D. Might have to go down to AA. Janet, good evening, lovey. So I'm gonna start in the middle, and what I'm going to do is if we're gonna do 5, maybe we need to go up 1 more to give us a little bit more space. But what we're gonna do is, come on needle, thread. So I'm gonna start with 5 seed beads. Or, but how many times am I going to be able to go through 15? Because I'm going to need to go through a few times. 1, 2, maybe try with 11 straight. No, I'm going to stick with my guts. Try it with 15. I do talk to myself. Right, so if you do 6, this is going to be 6. Let's do 6. So I've got 6, 15. And let me just move this out of the way for a sec. I'm going to move this out of the way as well. So I got 6, 15. Take them down on my thread. I'm going to come through the very first 15. I'm not going to go through all the way because I think it will fill up the holes of the 15 and we might struggle to go through it later on. So I just come through the very first one. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to pick up my first unit, which is going to be, actually it doesn't really matter because it will swoop around, so it doesn't matter which way you pick it up. I'm going to pick up 2 V beads from inside to outside and a size 15 and take these down, wrap that around my finger. Then I'm gonna turn back, go back through both of these V beads, and I'm gonna go along one of the size 15s. I'm gonna pull this up nice and tight. And now we are going to turn this, and we're going to go through the second hole on the second V bead, just like that. Pick up another V bead and the size 15. Take this down. Maybe we will need size 11s after all. Take this down, go back through the 2 V beads and into the next size 15 on our circle, just like that. Pull that up nice and straight, and then I am into the free hole on the V bead. Pick up another one. What do we think so far? And the size 15. Take this down, and then come back through both of those and into the next size 15. I think I got a big cross there in one of the 15s, but never mind. I think might go up to 11, so we have a we will see in a sec. Once we go around, put the end back around my finger here. Once we go around, we will see how this is gonna sit. Then I'm gonna come out of the free hole, so kind of getting that going around. I'm gonna pick up another V bead and a size 15. Take this down, then go back to both of the size 15s, both of the V beads and the size 15. I'm talking rubbish now. So now, did I pick up 5 or did I pick up 6? There's definitely not sitting right in the middle. There is something not sitting right there, but for the purpose of having a look, 1 2 3, oh, I picked up 6. That's why I'm gonna come back through the free hole and pick up my final V bead and another size 15, and take this in as well. Then I'm gonna go back through both of the V beads and then along the next 15, and then I'm gonna come back through. I need to come out to the one I just added. How can I get to the hole easier? The one I just added, and then the very first one we added, just like that. And then pick up another size 15, go back into the middle, so I think that would work, but we need bigger beads. Let me just finish this. Come through. There we go. Let's put this down. So I think that would work, but it's not tight enough in the middle, so we need to do something about that. I'm wondering if instead of that we could use a little jump ring, or if we use one seed bead in a different way, but they all going to the thread puffs are always going to be there, sort of pulling it out. So maybe the 6 is, maybe not. If we had more, or do we need less? Do we need 5? What do we think? Let me know in the chat. What do you think? How does it look? I think it could look good, and then we could go around the outside and add sort of more seed beads, and then we can link it up with all sorts of different things. This could be a middle of a necklace or a bracelet. We could make this bigger, we could make this smaller. So let me just have a look. So if we made it bigger, and let's say we done, that's 8, if we done 12, if you've done 12, then how many would we need? Let's just have a look. 1, 2, 3. No, because they want to turn more. They want to turn more and not sort of they are quite sharp within the turn. And if I make this go out, then it's going to come out of the, if we just had 4, I think that would be look quite nice as well. If we just had 4, then the whole is definitely not going to line up, so there will be seed beads in between. Excuse me. I don't know where that came from. So if you had 4 and we added a seed bead in between, I think that would work as well. Maybe that would be a more of a flowing pattern. Let's have a look at that one. I'm going to cut this off and start with the 4 and see what do we end up. I do like this, but I think it's either need to be much bigger or need to be smaller. 6 is kind of too gappy. I don't like these gaps here. I know it looks really big on the screen. It's much smaller here in real life, but I just don't like those gaps. I just want them to fit together. So, good evening, Dean. Oh, bless you, thank you. So, I'm just going to use this thread. So if I did this, I think we need, instead of a size 8, well, a size 11, or size 15. Let me just have a look. If I had 2 size 15s in there, that would probably bridge that gap, and then would end up in the middle with 2 there. Okay, so I'm gonna pick up a V bead and just move this out of the way a little bit. I'm gonna pick up a V bead, and then I'm gonna pick up 2 15s. 1, 2. I'm gonna pick up another V bead from the outer angle going inwards. So we're gonna go like that. So if we go from there to there, and then we go up 2 seed beads down, then we're probably gonna have to add 3 to come back here. We still need to go the other way, or unless if we go back here, then we add 3. Hang on a minute, hang on. This is, we need a more flowing thread path in all of this, because the holes are not lining up at all. So, okay, let's get going. So picked up, let me just move this over here. So picked up, that's what we're trying to kind of mimic here. So I picked up that one. Did I pick up the right way? This very first one. So that will be that one. This one will be here. So then we are exiting at here. So we got a choice. We either go this way. If we went that way and picked up, let's say a couple of 15s. If we sort of come in here, exit out here, then we could pick up another one. Right, let's try that. So I picked up 2 15s. I'm coming back through the V bead here. I'm going to pull this up nice and tight. So we got kinda that part. So from here now we need more than 2 because it's turning it. I'm going to pick up 3 there. So I'm just going to step back quickly, pick up another 15 and then come back through the hole. There we go. And pull this up nice and tight. So that's kind of sits better. Then the next one we need to go up. So I'm going to pick up 2 and I'm going to pick up from in to go outwards from the arrow. So that will go there. So now we need to turn and come back around. I reckon we're gonna need 4, but 3 definitely. I'm gonna go with 4 for the sec. So then I'm coming back in the middle. Just turn this. So coming back towards the middle. There we go. So now, how are we gonna get to add this last component here? I do think we need to link up with these seed beads somehow. So if I'm coming out of there, let me just pull this a bit tighter. How many seed beads do I need? Maybe just 1? Or do I need more to link into those 15s? If I pick up 2, I'm just like totally, I think they're gonna have to be, maybe they have to be more than 3 there. I'm gonna go down through that middle 15 there. Maybe that 15 needs to be a bigger bead. Pull this back tight. So kind of bonding. Yeah, that one has to be more. And then I'm gonna go out on this. We still have got the one side at the top which we haven't considered. I think we need to rethink this, because those 3 is not enough definitely, and now the whole thing is kinda, this needs to be linked at the top as well. It's not going. We need to come up with a different thread path. Come on everybody. So we got a hole there, we got a hole there, we got a hole here and here. So each one of them, that's come in the middle, but they are kinda hidden by the previous one. So if we had one seed bead there, how about, let me take this off and I'm gonna go up. No, actually let's, I still can do 15. So how about, just gonna pull these off. I'm gonna pick up, I'm gonna start similar how we started before. So I'm gonna pick up 4 15s. I'm gonna take them down. I'm gonna come through the very first one. I'm gonna pick up an arrow. It doesn't matter which side, and the seed bead. Take this down. And I'm gonna come through that seed bead one more time. And the next one. I'm gonna pick up another arrow. Oh no, what did I do? I did it wrong, I've missed this 15. Will I be able to go through without piercing the thread? Let's have a look. No. Okay, pulling it off then. Start again. So 4 15s, taking this down, I'm gonna come to the first one, I'm gonna pick up a V bead and the size 15, go back through the V bead, and then pull this up nice and tight. I'm going to go through the next size 15. Which direction should I go? I'm going to go this way. I'm going to pick up another V bead, another 15, go back through the V bead and into the next 15. So if I'm coming from that angle, then I'm gonna go this way. I think it kind of spins around a little bit. Did I do it right? Got it hooked on there. There we go. And then do it again to the next 15. What way? This way. At the moment they all kind of like hanging away. It doesn't really matter because we will, once we edit all 4 of them, then we can line them up, I think, and then we can sort of turn them the way we need to turn them. Just taking this down through the V bead and then into the next 15, and finally I'm going to add one more, the last one. So V bead 15, and then going back and going to the middle, and we will see if the idea worked, and just go past my tail. And this is when I'm trying to find a very tiny 15. I wish I started with 11s. Right, pull this up. I'm just gonna hold on to the 15 so I can pull it in. Okay, so let's kind of like unfold this in the way we might not be want to unfold. There we go. I think it's too tight. It's too tight. So we need something bigger in the middle. It's too tight. So if we did it with 11s, but then it would open sort of our little knot up. So we're kind of going to have to come up with a different strategy. So if I went down to seed bead, come out of here, because again there we will end up, we won't be able to go into the seed bead. So I'm going to have to rethink this. I'm going to put this to the side and I'm going to have to rethink this. I think the method is good, but I do think we need slightly bigger beads, or we need something in between when we're connecting them up. So I think it would be good, but it will need a bit of thinking through and a bit of sort of playing around with it. So I'm going to pop this to the side and I'm going to have a little play with these ones and see what we can come up with there. Just cut that off and pop that to the top. So with these ones, these flat beads, I do think if we had a necklace, they would look like, almost look like flowers. I mean, we could add a third one, or we could add a drop. But I think something there, sort of coming down and going back up, would look really nice. And then sort of create a little unit and then some beads in between before we go and create the next unit. So I'm thinking maybe a little bicone seed bead, bicone seed bead. Let me just grab a bicone for here, because I think that would look, well, it doesn't really have to be a bicone, it could be any color. I just think perhaps the bicone would be a nice shape, dangling down. So let me come back. So I'm just gonna use any, they will do, that color will do. And then we use, because we're using sort of a bluey color there, maybe a bluey seed bead for it. Oh no, we could use that one. We could use this one, so they will be fine. So with these ones, I'm gonna thread my needle here. Use this silver color thread. What we can do, so if I wanted unit by unit, just take a few bicones off. So if I want to do unit by unit, I would want to go in, let's say the bottom one. I want to pick up a seed bead, a bicone, a seed bead. I'm going to go back through the bicone itself. I'm going to pick up a seed bead, and I'm going to pick up another unit from the sort of the outer curved shape going towards the concave shape on it. Then we need to pick up, so they're going to sit just like that. Then we need to pick up, let's say, 2 seed beads, 1, 2, and we're going to go through the top ones. I think that would make such a lovely little pattern. Pick up another 2, and then come back at the bottom. But then we're gonna have to, we would have to sort of cross over to the other side. So I suggest we don't go down all the way on the bicone. Ooh, I know. We would add the bicone now. Okay, I know what we need to do. So I'm gonna go up in the next seed bead. So we have to pull this nice and tight. And now we're gonna have, we would have to add our next unit. So if you want to do a necklace with them kind of like sitting, so the next one would sit just like that, and then this on this side. So we're coming out of this hole, so we need to work out how we're gonna hook the next unit in. The thing what I can imagine, if we then, or we could just go into the next one. So if I went into the next one, hang on, if I went into the next one, move this over a tiny bit, went into the next one, I picked up 2 seed beads. I'm not going to pick up the crystal this time because, and then I'm from outer to inner. So I picked up those beads, and then I'm going to pick up 2 seed beads. I'm going to get to the top, sew the tops together, losing the end of my finger, sew the tops together. I don't know what's going on with my threads today in the bead club as well. I was getting so many knots. Make sure this is butts up against that one nice and tight. Then I'm gonna pick up 2, 1, 2, go back down into the bottom hole. Where are you? And through the 1 seed bead, not both, just one. Pull it up nice and tight. But I think we need some, we're gonna need to have a connection there. Now I'm gonna pick up the bicone and the seed bead, take those down, turn around by going through the bicone and go out on this side. I think that would work quite nicely, but we're gonna have to join this at the top, because otherwise these units are going to spin around. So I do think if we added one seed bead in between, that would look really nice. I keep moving this left and right and I'm keep going off camera. So I think if we added one seed bead in between, that would be really nice. Or if we taken those down, if we added 3 there and then hook onto that, maybe that would be set. Okay, I'm going to add the next unit. So I'm going to pick up 1 seed bead. I'm going to go from, I want them that way, so from the other end, because I want it to sit that way. Yeah, or did I pick up right or not? Yes, I did. And then 2 seed beads. It kind of like, you do it and then you kind of like question yourself, like, did I do it right? Take this down. Now I'm going to pick up 2, come through both of the ones at the top, just like that, let them sit, pull this up nice and tight. I think we need some sort of stitching in between to really hold it in place. And now, oh, if you wanted to curve it, oh look, if those, but then it wouldn't be, you need less of a curve. So if those, that 1 seed bead would be shared, maybe if these were bigger seed beads, maybe if they're a size 8. So if that seed bead was shared and I just picked up 1 and went through the bottom one from the unit before and pulled it up, then that would kind of stabilize it a little bit. They might need to be a little bit bigger though, so it opens up. What do we think of this? I think that would probably give us a nice curve as well. However, I would want these ones to be, oops, a little bit bigger. Maybe size 8, but then the size 8 might look a bit too big. But equally, we could have a seed bead and perhaps a pearl or something else sitting in the middle there. Let me know in the chat, what do you think we should put in there? Oh, Joe's saying, hi kids and everyone, some you're late. Oh, you all right, Davi? We're just playing with these beads. Right, I'm going to pick up the crystal and a seed bead, as usual. Put this on. Now, this doesn't have to be a crystal. This could be anything else, or it could be just a seed bead itself. I'm going to come back up and going towards the next unit. Do we need, if we had an extra there, so if we picked up 3, maybe that would work. If we had 3, okay, so the next unit I'm going to do, so if you had an extra seed beads, maybe that would just push it apart as much as we need to push it apart. So I'm picking up from the concave 2 seed beads, from outer to inner, and I'm going to pick up 3, and I'll show you after this unit that I think it's going to sit better. And then coming back to the top of both of them, then I'm going to pick up 1 seed bead, go down to the bottom seed bead there. I like that how they are linked together that way. Then along out in the middle of this would be nice for a pendant as well. Middle of the 2, pick up a bicone and a seed bead, and then go back through the bicone and through that seed and going towards the next one. So now I got 3 there, so let's see what the difference is going to make if we have 3. So the first one I need it that way, yep, and then 2 seed beads, and then going from outer to inner, pull this up nice and tight, and I'm going to pick up 3 seed beads again, 1 2 1 2 3, going both of the top ones, pull this up nice and tight. Now I'm gonna pick up 2 and go into the bottom one of the third, the 3 we added, and then along and out of the 2. So it's amazing, just one seed beads can make such a difference. I think that's like sort of will give us a softer curve having the 3 seed beads, and I think that looks quite nice. What do you think? Let me know in the chat, and also let me know what you've been up to, what you've been beading, what you've been doing. I would love to see some pictures as well so I can show off to everybody. Going back up the crystal and towards the next unit. I think that would be a nice pattern. And then we could run along the top of these seed beads to reinforce the top there. I think that would look really, really good. What do you think? Do let me know. I'm gonna add one more unit so just we can see. So 1 seed beads going inner to outer, then 2 seed beads going to outer to inner. Pull this up. And then, oh no, I picked this one up the wrong way. I need to pick it up this way. I think like working with them, like you will realize straight away when you pick it up the wrong way as well. 1 2 3, going through both of them at the top. Pulling this up nice and tight. I'm gonna pick up 2 seed beads, 1 2, gonna come down in the 3rd seed bead from the sets before, and along towards the middle, just like that. Pick up the crystal and a single seed bead. Take this down and then take it back up. Oh, Ruth, thank you very much. Ruth is saying, please click the like button, help the channel. Thank you. I always forget to say it, but every single click, every single click on the like button, every single share, everything counts. I guess every single view, everything counts to help the channel out to grow. I like that. I think that would look really pretty on a necklace. Not sure about the bicones underneath it. Any suggestions? Let me know in the chat what we could put underneath. Maybe we could put something a little bit longer. Maybe the shared bead could be a microcrystal to match the bicone. Yeah, that would be good as well. But it could be something a little bit bigger as well. I think we still got a little bit of thread left there. So it could be a 3mm bicone would fit in there. But then, like, do we really want bicones at the top as well? It could be a pearl. A little 3mm pearl we could add there as well. So we could try all sorts of different things. I think we could have microcrystals instead of the seed beads as well. We could do all sorts of different things. I'm just not sure if this bicone needs to be bigger, or is it for a crystal drop? Oh yeah, that would look really good as well. Or have we got, what sort of crystal drop have I got here? I do have drops. Let me just have a look. I'm just gonna grab some. So I think we still need something sort of smallish. We don't want something very big drops, because something like this, I think this would be too big. We need something, this is overpowering. So what we need is something small like that, perhaps would work. Something petite. Have I got like a silvery color? This one perhaps we could try. Or we got clear AB as well. I got this size crystal drop as well. But I think this one, again, let me just show you at the top. I think this one, put it behind it, again, might be a little bit too big. So I think that little one we need. Just pop that over there. Let's try that. So coming back and undoing these crystals, let's try the next unit with a crystal at the bottom. So I'm going to pick up one seed bead. I'm going to go with a few more of these. I'm going to need to pick it up that way, and then 2 seed beads, then from outer to inner. Then I'm going to pick up 3 seed beads, 1, 2, 3, put both together at the top. Michelle is saying crystal drop. And then picking up 2 seed beads, going down at the bottom. I think Michelle, crystal drop might just work. Along now, I'm not bicon, I'm picking up the crystal drop, so I'm going to pick it up from the thinner to the thicker end, pick up a seed bead, and then take this up. Just like that. Very good idea, Michelle. So how about that? I think it's too skinny. Now we got the sort of the right shape. I think it's too skinny. Let me just grab the one size bigger one and try this one on the next unit, because like sometimes you say it's big and it's like too big, but once you try it, sometimes it just works. So let me try one of those. So next unit, we're going from inner to out. Oh no, seed bead first. Seed bead, inner to inner side to the outer side and the bottom hole. 2 seed beads, outer to inner, 3 seed beads, 1, 2, 3 seed beads, taking these ones down, then sewing those top 2 together, then picking up 2 seed beads, 1, 2, going down in that one, then along and stopping in the middle of the 2, picking up this larger crystal drop and a seed bead. Still not too large though. I think maybe because it's not flat. Going back and towards the other side. Now let's have a look at this one. I think size-wise is perhaps better, but because it's not flat. Or maybe you could try a round bead would work as well. Because if you look at it from above, can you see like sort of it's fatter? I don't know, I can show it to you, but it's fatter. So for me on the mat, I know because like you're watching it on a TV or a device that the image looks flat, but I can see it here and I think well, maybe not. What do we think? Small drop or the larger drop? Let me know in the chat. Which one do you prefer? The smaller drop or the larger drop? And I'm going to try a round bead as well because I think. And what if I just added, what if we just added a little 3mm round bead? A little 3mm round bead. I'm just gonna grab, I want like a silvery color. Does it really matter, I guess, what color? Blue. That's too light. I think that would be too light. Yep. Need something a little bit darker. Is that dark enough? Yeah, I think that will show up. I've got so many trays out now. So I'm going to try this. So what if, maybe we need 4mm, but I'm going to try with 3mm first. So what if I picked up 1 seed, I'm going from the outer to inner, I'm going to pick up the pearl, inner to outer, take this down, I'm going to pick up 3 seed beads, 1, 2, 3, sewing the top together, picking up 2, down in that single one, and then along. I think that looks nice as well, actually, just with the pearl there and nothing else. There we go. And then going that way. So what do we think of that variation? Just with the pearl and nothing else. Robin is saying smaller drop. Joy's thinking, could you do a smaller seed peacock? Yeah, we could do that as well. And then Jo said that she likes the smaller. Jo's saying she likes the larger one. Do I have any top jeweled one? I have a look. What's in this box? To be honest, the top jeweled ones I have got here are quite big. I haven't really got any sort of small. So the top jeweled one I have, which is all the same size, like they're like that big. I think that would be a bit overkill for it. So let's have a look. What else have we got here? No, they're all kind of big. I got this, but I think this is big. As this would be big as well. So no, not top jeweled like that. So I'm gonna have to. I got one of these. Well, that's an idea. I got one of these, which is like the graduated one, that you would put small one and then you could put the medium one. But then would you really go any bigger than that? You wouldn't use that size, but it would you in the middle. Maybe you could. Maybe you could. I put that on to the side, but I don't think that will sort of kind of the big ones. I wanted to kind of have it unique all the way around. Joe's saying, I just like it all. I like the round pearl. Shall we try a 4mm pearl and see how much is that curving it? Just by changing one size. And I got a black one here that will show up. Just by changing the size up by a millimeter, it will make a difference there. So I'm gonna do the next unit. So get my needle, single seed bead, then inner to outer. I'm going to pick up the 4mm pearl, outer to inner. Come on, pull this up, then 3 seed beads, 1, 2, 3. So the tops together. I mean, it could be a crystal. Make sure this is nice and tight. 2 seed beads. Going through the last one. And then along. I think the 3mm sits better, but the 4mm is more visible. What do we think? The 4mm kind of like opens it up quite a bit. I think the 3mm just sort of nice there. I'm not sure. Oh, I got another idea. What we can do is look. Let's just get rid of these 15s that keep coming up. So I need a few more seed beads on my mat, and I'm actually going to pull these seed beads to the side here so I don't have to go in front. So what we can do is I'm going to go and pick up the next unit. I'm going to pick up a pearl. I need a pearl because I want to add a pearl there. Or do I want the seed bead to be the pearl? No, I'm going to have the pearl there. So I'm going to pick up a pearl. Well, we'll try either way. 1, then another pearl, then 2. Then I'm going to pick up 3 seed beads. 1, 2, 3. go through the top, pick up 2 seed beads, 1, 2, come down in that single one, and then I'm gonna go this way. I'm gonna come through the pearl, make sure this is not getting caught, pull that into the middle. I think we need a bigger bead there. And then before I go any further, I'm gonna pick up, let's say 3, I'm gonna pick up 5, I think 4 probably enough, then come from the other side of the pearl and have it like that. 4 is probably enough. What do you think of that little unit? I think that looks quite attractive as well with the pearls. But this here has to be a different bead, because now we're kind of like pulling it a bit too much. So this needs to be just maybe, it wouldn't work. If you put the pearl here, maybe. Let's try that. Let's put the pearl there where the seed bead is and put a seed bead where the pearl is. So I'm gonna start with a seed bead, then pick up my units, pearl in the middle, another unit, and then I'm gonna pick up a pearl then and 2 seed beads, 1, 2, go through the tops, pick up 2 seed beads, come through the bottom, go along. I'm gonna pick up, actually the 5, look, it went into a nice little V shape there. So maybe, shall we stick with the 5? Kind of sat in quite nicely. I'm gonna stick with the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, through the pearl again, to the next side, and this is going to be the deciding factor when we're adding the next unit. So it kind of sits nice. So I'm going to pick up a seed bead and I'm going to pick up the next unit. So I'm going that way, and I need a pearl, 2 pearls actually. Pearl, then inner to outer, no, outer to inner. This is the only thing you still have to look at it the way you pick it up, but you can be used either way. So pearl, 3 seed beads, 2 seed beads, 1, 2, sewing the top ones together, picking up 2 seed beads, and then we're gonna go into the pearl. I know it's turned upside down, but it's going to turn the right way just in a sec. I'm going to go into the pearl. Just see how much can we move this up. Through. Flat jewel into the pearl. I'm going to pick up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and on to the next unit. What do we think about that? I think it depends how much of a curve is this going to give us, but we can always play with it. I think that's quite pretty. Victor is saying 3mm definitely better. Michelle is saying. Victor is saying, question, could these pip beads make a heart? Thinking Valentine's Day. So they are not pip beads, they're flat beads. The pip beads are straight, they're like a drop shape, and this one has got like a little curve in them. So I think if you put them together, like just like that, you do get, maybe we could do, so if I turn the design upside down, but it's still, I think they kind of like go away from each other a bit too much. So I think it's better to leave it sort of in, well, all sorts of different patterns. I think that's really pretty. So we did, out of these ones, which one do you like the best? I do like the bicones, what we did at the beginning, but I'm just gonna push this to the side and zoom out for you. So some of them, depending on how much we moved around, they sound like curving more or less here, or then kind of like curving less. But I think if then we run around at the top, that would put it to the right sort of curve, and then you got an option like how much you pull on it, that much is going to pull it into a curve as well. I kind of like the V shape coming down there and having the pearl at the bottom, or they have to rethink that. How can we make that happen? Because they definitely have to be hooked together in one way or another. So I quite like that. I like involving the pearl. I think the pearl looks really good in the design there. We did have a little play with this, which I'm gonna have a think, or if you've got any ideas, do let me know. I quite like the idea, but I think we either need to make it like a really big circle, or I'm not sure, maybe we see how we can add all this together. I definitely will have a little play with this, because I think that looks quite nice with those beads into that shape. Right, now what I want to show to you and want to my favorite is with the pearl beads. Michelle is saying I like on my one too. I think it's, and especially if you do this in sort of different colors, or maybe even 3mm crystals, it would really sparkle up. So I think that would be a really nice little that's looking great. Thank you, Joe. Really little sparkle there. Right, okay, so I want to show you this, because next week on Tuesday I'm doing the bauble workshop. So we decided that this year we're going to do 12, well, sort of Christmas all around the year. So we did 12 days of Christmas, so we're going to do 12 months of Christmas. So each month we're going to do a bauble. Therefore, like by the end of the year comes, you will have you know, enough to sort of put on a tree. And this month, this is January's baubles. It's called Jane Bauble. This is what we are going to be doing on Zoom next week on Tuesday. So do check out, the kits are on the website now, and if you get the kit, that will grant you access for a free Zoom class effectively. So do join in with us in that one. That will be on Tuesday night at 6 p.m. I will be back Wednesday morning with Totally Beads, and Wednesday night I will be back here. We'll see what we play with. I will have a little play with this week, because I think that's such a pretty pattern, and I really want to do something with that one as well. I'm showing it to you here, but the camera is not on there, is there? So everybody have a beautiful week, and I'll see you here next week. See you on Totally. Or if you fancy the bauble workshop, do check out on Totally Beads website. Thank you very much, and I'll see you very